Hi guys, welcome to StoryMakers. This is a kid zine created just for you and your imagination to tell the greatest story ever told. Today and for the next 12 weeks, we are going to be jumping into adventure number 1, which starts at the very beginning with creation. So, what I want you to do, get your zine. Why don't you go grab your tools, which are your markers, your colored pencils, crayons, sheets of paper, maybe a pair of scissors, your grown-ups so they can have fun with you, and meet me right back here. All right, guys, now that we've got our zine, let's sign in. This is your zine, so I want you to put your name right here. And then let's take a look at our characters. We've got some parts to play because in order to tell the greatest story ever told, we got to play the parts. And so, now that you've signed in, and now that we know who our characters are, let's start at the very beginning, where the greatest stories begin. Chapter 1, Light and Darkness. Let's take a look at this picture really quick. Look at these dark spots down here and this dark area up here. But then you see this light right here in the middle and these hands coming out. That's really cool. I wonder what's happening in this story. I mean, it is the beginning. So could this be like the beginning? I don't know. Let's see. It says, how do stories begin? People have been telling stories since day 1. Whoa. I mean, there's some beautiful colors happening here. And look at this, how the light up against these lighter colors, up against these darker colors, just make it shine even brighter, right? That's so cool. Well, guys, I think we should jump into our story. And I have a friend who's going to help me read our script today. All right, guys, so it's time to dive into our script. I've got my buddy Henry here. Hello. And he's going to be joining me today to read the script and sprinkle throughout the rest of the 12 weeks. It's going to be really awesome. So, Henry, can you be our God?
Sure.
And I will be the narrator. All right. In the midst of the great void, God was there. His spirit hovered over the darkness and face of the waters. Out of the emptiness, he spoke life into being.
Let there be light.
Light illuminated the darkness, and God called the light day and the darkness night.
You are good day, and you are good night.
And there was morning and evening the first day. God spoke, and out of the chaos of nothingness, light and darkness came into existence.
Whoa.
So cool. Whoa guys, what an amazing beginning to our story. Well, first things first, if we're going to be talking about creation, I think we need to dig back into some of our ancient texts. And when we look back, we discover that there have been many stories about how the world was created. Egyptians used hieroglyphics to tell stories. And in the Genesis account, the one that we're reading right now, it was written over 3,500 years ago, which is such a long time ago. And in those ancient days, everyone, the Egyptians, the Jews, the Greeks, they all had a story about how the world came to be. Now, for the Egyptians and Greeks, they believed in many gods. They believed that there was a god attached to everything. The moon, the stars, the seas, you name it, they had a god attached to it. Except for one. Moses, the story maker of the book of Genesis, what we're reading right now, wanted all his readers to know, that means you and me, that there's only one God, and he created everything, even before there was light. Now, I've got a couple questions for you. All right, guys, I've got two big questions for you. And my first one is this. What is frightening about the dark? What is really scary about the dark? For me, what's scary about the dark is that I can't see anything. I don't know what's actually happening. And that's kind of scary, right? This kind of unknown, what's there, I can't really see. That can be pretty scary. So, what is scary for you about the dark? My second question is this. Do we see what God does in the dark? God creates light. But why would God be in the dark with us? What can be good about the dark? For me, I think bats are really cute. It's a little bat there. And they come out at night when it's really dark outside. And when it's dark outside, you can see the stars in the sky. And that's the light that God is creating in these dark spaces, right? And they shine so brightly. So that's something that I think is really good about the dark. And StoryMakers, did you know that your body needs 10 to 14 hours of sleep at night when you're growing? And the nighttime gives us this opportunity to rest and to get all that sleep that we need. Now, let's jump into our activity. Alright guys, for our activity today, we are going to be talking about color value. But before we dive in there, I want to just jump back really quick to our visual at the beginning. And this is going to help us with our craft today. So you notice these like color values, right? How this light up against the dark background makes it shine even brighter and makes the colors look even brighter. So keep this in mind when we're doing our activity. Activity today is color value. And light and darkness are opposites, but together they create a clear picture of what we're meant to see. And in art, we call that value. And these opposite elements make it easier for us to see what's in view. So what I want you to do is we're going to start on this blue page first. And I want you to just find like one of these big shapes and color it in with the brightest crayon or colored pencil you have. I think I'm going to use this lime green one. And I'm just going to color in this big blue or big white shape right here on this blue background. So you see, now that it's colored in, it still kind of looks, I don't know, like it kind of blends into the back because that blue is so bright, right? That blue is also a light color, the lime green is a light color, and so it just kind of blends in, like everything's the same, and it makes it look a little bland, like it's not really there, right? Just another added color. But if we move over to the black sheet of paper and find one of these spots to color in with the same crayon, look how bright that looks. Even in these spaces where I've kind of colored outside the lines a little bit, it looks so bright, right? The dark background really brings out the brightness. And that's the same thing that God was doing when he separated the light from the darkness. He was bringing in this light to shine brightly, just like this color did on this darker background. So find all the bright colored crayons you can, draw and color in all of these little shapes on this side, on the blue side, and then use those same colors to do it on the black sheet of paper too. And have some fun. All right, guys, what an awesome beginning to our story, to our adventure. This has been so much fun, and that was just chapter 1. So before we end today, let's say a little prayer. Dear God, thank you for entering into these spaces that feel a little scary or we can't really see, and reminding us that you are our light and you'll be there forever. In your name I pray. Amen. Well, guys, I can't wait to see you next week for chapter 2. It's going to be so much fun, and I'll see you there. Bye.